Morning everyone. I'm Jeline Rani. I'm going to explain about the ascent of sap. Shall we make a move? Yes. So what is the definition of ascent of sap? The upward movement of water from the root system to the aerial parts of the plant through the xylem is called ascent of sap. So it occurs in the xylem. Ascent of sap or the ascent of water takes place through the sapwood only. It is not occurred through the hardwood. Next we move on to the mechanism of ascent of sap. So here there are three important theories which are related to this ascent of sap process. So one is called vital force theory, another one is called root pressure theory, and a very important theory is called as physical force theory. So this vital force theory, which was proposed by Godlewski in the year 1884, and the root pressure theory, which was proposed by Priestley in the year 1916, and the physical force theory, which is a very famous theory, which was proposed by Dixon and Joly in the year 1894. First, we are going to see about the vital force theory. So, this vital force theory was proposed by Godlewski in the year 1884. And this theory, which later elaborated by J.C. Bose. So J.C. Bose, the important point that he wants to stress is the living cells play an important role in the ascent of sap. And here, this vital force theory, they produce two important theories. The further elaborated theories of this vital force, they are nothing but the relay pump theory and the pulsation theory. So here in this relay pump theory, so this theory which was proposed by Godlewski in the year 1884. So what this theory emphasis on the living cells of xylem, which pumps the water upward from one vessel to another vessel, especially the living cells of xylem, which play a very important role, that is the parenchyma cells. And here this theory, they stress about the xylem tracheids and vessels. They act as reservoirs. And next we move on to the pulsation theory. So this theory was proposed by Sir J.C. Bose in the year 1923. So here this theory, they talk about this pulsation activity of the living cell of the innermost cortical layer. So these cortical cells, they are having the living cells, and those cells absorb water from outside and pump the same into the vessels, xylem vessels. So here J.C. Bose experiment play an important role in this pulsation theory. So in this pulsation theory, the J.C. Bose, he used the electric probe experiment. So here this electric probe, which was connected with a galvanometer. So here when the needle of the electric probe was inserted into the stem slowly, the needle showed some oscillations. But here, what is a very important observation of J.C. Bose? When the electric probe needle reached the innermost layer of cortex, the needle of galvanometer showed the violent oscillations. So hence J.C. Bose, he emphasized that the living cells of the innermost cortical layer is responsible for the ascent of sap. So next we move on to the root pressure theory. So the root pressure theory here, which emphasizes on the hydrostatic pressure developed in the roots by the accumulation of absorbed water. So here the term root pressure, which was proposed by Stephen Hales in the year 1727. So here the Hawke is talking 1956, he defined root pressure as a pressure developing in the trachea elements of the xylem as a result of the metabolic activities of the roots. So here the roots are created in the that is especially the pressure is created in the root area. Okay, so this root pressure theory, they emphasize the pressure created on the roots. So next we move on to the physical force theory. So this theory is the very accepted theory among all the theories. So here the physical force theories favor the dead cells of the xylem are responsible for the ascent of sap. The living cells are not involved in the ascent of sap. So here the dead cells, which means they are representing the xylem elements, especially the that is the xylem components, especially the dead cells. The ascent of sap is due to the operation of the physical forces. So here especially the physical force theory, here the very important theory is nothing but the transpiration pull and cohesion of water theory. So this theory, transpiration pull and the cohesion of water theory, this was proposed by Dixon and Jeline in the year 1894, and later this theory, which was supported by so many researchers that Curtis, Renner, Clark and Werner. So here what this theory emphasizes upon? So this theory emphasizes upon the ascent of sap is due to the transpiration and cohesion and adhesion of the water. So these are all the properties of water. So the cohesion property and the adhesion properties of water. So these are all the important factors. They are all the causal for the ascent of sap. So these are all the important theories which are related with it of the ascent of sap. So today's class that we saw about the ascent of sap definition and the mechanisms of the ascent of sap related theories. So the three theories, so what are they? Can you recall? So here they are all nothing but the vital force theory and the root pressure theory and the physical force theory. So thank you for listening. Thank you.